No, I have seen this before. I have had a bit of a look into it. Oh, that's the thing. Now, quite a while ago, this has been out for ages. Quite a while ago, I asked Ricardo Bosey on his green room, live chat, and I asked him the question, that pin-headed Sheila with the wingnut head, and he sat there and went, no, no, can't say I've heard of it. I have to look into that one. Next question. Right? The authority on all things Trump we're talking about, Ricardo Bozo.
What you got to say about Project 2025?
Have you heard of Agenda 47?
Say what?
Agenda 47.
Nah.
It's the actual platform that Trump is going to push when he becomes president.
I've had people attack me, tell me that I'm being paid by Iran to push Project 2025. That's not what's happening, okay? Let me be clear, that's not what's happening. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Deja, your friendly neighborhood concerned citizen. If watching my Project 2025 video brought you here, let me just say that I'm so happy that you're here. I feel like I've been screaming into a void since last year when I first started reading and posting about Project 2025. It feels amazing to have so many eyes on it and to have so many people who are interested in what it's saying. It's been a true grassroots effort to get information out to the masses. For me, it's a testament of what can be achieved on social media when we're all kind of focused on one goal. Another reason why you're probably watching this video is because you're hearing or reading or seeing things like this.
It's supposed to make it illegal to be...
It has nothing to do with Trump. Trump has neither endorsed nor supported this platform.
Or you're reading things like Project 2025 is fear-mongering, or a crowd favorite for me has been, this is the left's boogeyman, or this is Dem's boogeyman, which I always find interesting because it means that you infer my political affiliation by the fact that I'm having a conversation and telling people to read something. I've had people attack me, tell me that I'm being paid by Iran to push Project 2025. That's not what's happening, okay? Let me be clear, that's not what's happening. Don't let anyone convince you that reading a book is fear-mongering. Books are written to be read. It's not fearsome because of the readers. If what's written in the book is fearsome, it's fearsome because of what the authors chose to write down. The authors of this book have authored many mandates for leadership, but this is the first time on a large scale that young people are actually reading it and paying attention to it. That's all that's happening. People are paying attention. And if people paying attention to something that was written is a problem, then my spidey senses tell me that that's something that we should be paying even more attention to. What's happening is that when people are paying attention, it can be frustrating. Especially when you built an entire nation of people who would rather not talk about politics and choose to just let other people handle it rather than just being aware of what's actually going on around them. That's it. That's what's happening. As we dive in, I want to be clear on who this video is for. And then I want to share with you the two reasons why I chose not to mention President Trump in my first Project 2025 video. My intended audience for this video is not the people who have already made the decision not to vote. I respect your right not to vote. I'm not going to spend any time here convincing people why they should vote. History has shown me the monstrous effort that people have put into making sure certain people don't vote. We're talking intimidation, we're talking literacy tests, we're talking poll fees, we're talking redrawing district lines. You name it, they've done it. And for that reason alone, I personally believe that if it didn't matter, they would not have done any of those things. They would have just let it ride.
They want everybody to vote. I don't want everybody to vote. Elections are not won by a majority of people. They never have been from the beginning of our country, and they are not now. As a matter of fact, our leverage in the elections quite candidly goes up as the voting populace goes down.
For me, you don't apply that much pressure for nothing. If you're interested at all in learning all of the ways that your right to vote has been attacked over the years and is still under attack today, I will gladly make a video one day. But it is not this day. My intended audience for this video is for people who want to be more aware of the world around them. The people who have an icky feeling in the pit of their stomach, or the people who just don't feel comfortable about sitting on the sidelines or opting out of civic engagement. If that's you, grab some tea, let's get cozy, and we're just going to chat a little bit about the relationship between Agenda 47 and Project 2025. What is Agenda 47? Agenda 47 represents the broader goals and policy priorities of the Trump administration. You can view it on his website. But there's two things that are really easy to notice. The broad, sweeping concepts that are listed actually lack the fine details of how these things will actually work, how they'll actually happen. This is intentional. This isn't the place to fully expand on strategy to actually make these things happen. It's just listing out the priority. The second thing that's really easy to see after reading it is that everything on this list is listed in Project 2025 in explicit detail on how they're actually going to do these things. That's the difference between an agenda and a policy handbook like the Mandate for Leadership. What is Project 2025? I have a deeper dive on Project 2025 that you can watch here. I also have quite a few short form videos where I started doing things like breaking down the specific chapters that you can check out if you need an additional debrief or a brush up on what Project 2025 is. So we won't get too deep in the weeds here. If you do need a refresher, go check out this video. This book was developed by the Heritage Foundation. Project 2025 provides a comprehensive conservative policy aimed at influencing current and future administrations. We're going to put a pin in current and come back to it. It's made up of detailed policy recommendations. So you might have heard people saying something like, it's just a wish list. There's a difference between wish lists and policy recommendations. Training programs for policymakers, and more importantly, strategic guidance on a wide range of issues. If one were to read both Agenda 47 and the Mandate for Leadership, you would easily begin to see where these things overlap. For example, Agenda 47 calls for cutting federal funding for any school that's teaching accurate history instead of a watered-down ideological revisionist history. Project 2025 also specifically calls for doing the same. You can find that overlap here, and here, and here. But I'm already seeing elements of Project 2025 here, Deja, without Trump in office. Why is that? Good question. The answer to that, my friend, is why I chose not to mention President Trump in my first Project 2025 video in the first place. It's because I really wanted y'all to understand that Project 2025 is so much bigger than Trump. It's so much bigger than him. He truly is a puppet. And I know that we like to think, oh, he does his own thing. He does his own thing within the confines that corporations that have purchased him will allow.
We have to make life good for our smart people.
And the rollbacks and reforms that we are seeing while he's not even in office should paint that picture pretty clearly. Make no mistake, I'm not being dramatic when I say this. Trump will definitely be jet fuel to the plan, but it's the inner workings that we should be paying attention to that are actually making movement possible right now, even when he's not in office. This is the long game. Even if Trump didn't win this election, that wouldn't mean the end of fighting against Project 2025. The ideology from this book is spread throughout our government's elected officials. Your Congress, that's your House of Representatives, your members of the Senate, your state legislators, your school districts, your judges, your sheriffs, your coroners.
Oh yeah, Jacko actually booked the whole trip with WebJet. Yeah. Oh, check this out. Hey, guy! Take a walk! They love that.
Your county clerks. This is systemic. Okay, October. You can lay there. What is it here? You have to chill down. I'm trying to put the people on. Okay, if I'm being 100% with you, we are up against corruption on all levels. Doesn't matter what your political party is, it's there. And in my honest opinion, solely focusing on Trump and the presidential election is like going to the beach in 90-degree weather, laying down on your giant beach towel and only putting sunscreen on your face. How can that be? The authors of the Heritage Foundation are just a conservative think tank. They have no power, Deja. Another great question, friend. Here's where we talk about the difference between direct influence and indirect influence. The short answer is it doesn't matter. Not only is it incredibly dishonest for Trump to say that he doesn't know anything about Project 2025.
On behalf of all of you, our 1.5 million members of Heritage over the last decade, to introduce President Donald Trump.
But birds of a feather flock together, and a significant chunk of people closest to him authored it. I'll hit you with this scenario. So for example, imagine if you work in an office as a project manager and you have direct reports. You, as their manager, have direct influence over your team because you are the boss. This means you have the authority to assign tasks, to set deadlines, to evaluate their performance. You are able to provide clear instructions, establish expectations, and directly manage their work. Make sure sure tasks are completed and you meet project deadlines. Having this direct influence allows you to guide your team's efforts and allows you to achieve immediate results. However, managing complex projects often requires collaborating with other teams. You need subject matter experts. You need coworkers who are not your direct reports. So let's switch this up a little bit. And instead of being the project manager in this scenario, you're a consultant. As a consultant, you have no direct influence. No one is reporting to you. So you have to rely on indirect influence to get your job done effectively. Indirect influence comes in the form of building strong working relationships with these colleagues.
Finally, I want to express our gratitude to Kay James and the dedicated scholars and staff at the Heritage Foundation. Thank you very much.
Understanding what their level of expertise is, demonstrating the importance of your expertise, and understanding how all those things contribute to your project, your goal. At that point, the biggest tools in your tool belt are going to be persuasion and collaboration. Hopefully, if you've done your job well, you're able to motivate and inspire these people who do not report to you to support the project in their specifically unique way. And you're able to do this even though you do not have direct authority over them. By leveraging your knowledge and the project goals, you're now able to influence action and get cooperation. And this is how you're able to ensure that all of the parts align, everyone involved in the project aligns, and the project runs smoothly. That is indirect influence.
With your help, we have not only nominated, but confirmed the new Supreme Court Justice.
Direct influence involves the immediate specific actions to achieve goals, like a manager giving a direct order or a president signing a bill. Indirect influence occurs through advocacy, policy recommendations, and the creation of a supportive environment for specific policy. It involves shaping attitudes and practices over time, like a manager providing training. Think tanks, interest groups, advisory panels, they all often exert this type of influence by shaping public opinion, providing research, media appearances, and one of the biggest tools of them all, lobbying. All of these tools are in the tool belt of people who use indirect influence to get laws passed, to sway public opinion. And I think it's important for Americans to really truly understand that ideology that can be bought and paid for is what influences our laws.
But Elon endorsed me the other day.
Again, I know that we like to believe Trump makes his own rules and he's not going to listen to anybody, but at the end of the day, he can't know everything. It's impossible. Understanding that a president more often than not relies on various government offices, agencies, advisors to gather the information needed to make important decisions and policies. Think of this process like outsourcing. We're delegating tasks and responsibilities to and from other departments, each with a specific level of expertise. For example, the Department of Defense provides insights on military matters. The Department of the Treasury offers economic and financial data. The Department of State provides foreign policy information. This delegation ensures that the president receives specialized, detailed, accurate information from the experts in each field, which allows the president to cover more ground. He is not a standalone figure making his own decisions. A fantastic question would be, if there's no such thing as indirect influence, wouldn't lobbying not only be illegal, but unnecessary?
But he gives me $45 million a month.
Why would Elon Musk be so willing to funnel $45 million a month into a campaign that wouldn't promise a return on his investment? This is yet another example of indirect influence. Elon Musk is not an elected official. He is not in office, and yet he is buying influence of policies. Hello friends, Editing Deja here. I just wanted to give you a quick update. Since I recorded this video, President Biden has dropped out of the presidential election, which has shaken things up for the Republican Party. Immediately after the fallout of this, Elon Musk has come out and says that he is not donating $45 million a month to the Trump campaign, even though he did create a super PAC in his honor called the America PAC, so look that up. Just wanted to make sure that I was giving you guys relevant information. Don't come for me, because I updated you. America is being run by corporations. And if you're not paying attention, that's the reason why so many tech giants are throwing their hat in the ring, because they know who will allow unfettered deregulation and allow them to run their businesses unchecked and unchallenged.
There are no nations. There's Apple, Exxon, and Berkshire Hathaway. Corporations are the real superpowers here. You should be able to operate without any regulation or restriction whatsoever. After all, you're billionaires. You're smart enough to know what's best. Bottom line, you support me, and that is what you'll fucking get.
These corporations are buying indirect influence and robbing the average American. Heritage Foundation influence. Contrary to popular belief, the Heritage Foundation isn't just a bunch of smucks who got together and read something.
Can do. Can do.
Be more can do in the GWM Cannon range. with V2L technology that can power just about anything.
If I was to describe Australian Ethical, it would be award-winning superannuation fund that helps the environment. My super fund invests in my future. And
Anyway, I'm going to cut that a bit short on you. Why? Because why not? Dacia Sade. If you want to check it out. Project 2025 and Agenda 47. Look into it. Everything that's happening now is in there, by the way. The concentration camps, everything. It's all in there. And I asked Ricardo Mosey about this. Oh, jeez. 2024? This was out before 2025, of course. It was 2024 when I knew about it. And he just bold-faced lied to everyone on the green room. As if he doesn't know about it. Come on. He knows everything, that man. He's the walking crystal ball, isn't he? The idea is to crash the entire economy. So I mean, like, this is a revision thing. People were talking about this. I was ridiculed for ever bringing it up. So I thought I'd bring it up again, and you know, go and look yourself. I'm fucking tired of it. It's exhausting. Go and have a look yourself. And then start asking politicians in our government about it. Because it's not just an American thing. The Heritage Organisation is, what do you think the World Heritage Listing Registry is all about? The land projects.